A bit over a year ago, I started playing Runescape 3 for the first time ever with a simple goal, seeing how the world of Gielinor evolved through every update in order of its release date, with the limited skills and gear choices available up until this point, all without relying on guides, just with my knowledge from playing old school Runescape. This is Timeliner. Welcome to the year of 2005. After wrapping up some more ancient knowledge in freeing Azanandra, a move which I still feel conflicting about, we've gained the first new spellbook in Runescape's history. Ancient Magic. Powerful AoE spells, freezers, health drains, you name it. Completely forsaking any skilling opportunities for the sake of maximum damage. And those will be put to good use very soon. But first, let us take a quick look at the 4th of May, 2005. Lumbridge has been shaken by a series of earthquakes recently. Something or someone in the caves down below must have caused them. And we are tasked with investigating the matter in quest number 79, the Tears of Guthix. A good old trusty default adventuring set, some goofy looking ropes, mighty runes and delicious lobbies should do the trick. These caves here were added a couple of weeks ago, but I skipped over them, as up until now, they were only used for Slayer, a skill which is currently on hold until a new quest demands a higher level. And for the second time in a row, I've managed to position the camera in the exact angle such that we cannot see the mysterious piece in the wall which just attacks us while running past. I swear this was not on purpose. Finally, some light. These glowing orb thingies look like the perfect indicator for a new quest. I only noticed later that I accidentally had turned down my brightness, so this might be a bit darker than you know it. Still, the absolute monster that Juno has become is easy to see. Holy! That is quite a change. Look at that little snakeling. So then, Snake, what do you have for us? She wants a story. She has been tasked by Guthix to guard his tears and has done so faithfully for 3,000 years. But all alone down here in the dark, she got bored. If we tell her an exciting quip from our adventures, she'll allow us to collect some of the tears. The tears have formed here after Guthix had witnessed the destruction of a god wars in a previous age. And he was so saddened, even the stones wept for him while he rested here. Even now, these stones carry some small glance of his powers, and Juno has been tasked to only allow those worthy a small sip of them to increase their might. These surely are worthy. Have you heard how we brought a ghost's hat? Figured. But before we get a sip of XP, we have to carve a bowl with which to catch the tears. Only a bowl made from the stone from the other side of his cavern will do, and to get us across, we need to light a gem-cast beam of the same color at them. Alright, that's a pretty good hint. A perfect opportunity to utilize the other half of Lumbridge's Storm Cave update. Lanterns, a new, strong light source. Just hammering some steel, taking the excessively long trip to Andrana for some molten glass, and a fresh lantern lens. Somehow combining them with a blue sapphire gem, and we need some oil to light it. Our good old pal, the chemist, isn't far. He'll probably be able to help us out. It has been a couple of years since we stopped by. How lovely, he has everything prepared. We just need a bit of Somtar and should be all set. Ah, blue light. Now, take me away. Maybe without consuming my entire body. I still need that. But here we are. Some special rocks shaped into a bowl. Luna should be happy now. And that is quest completed. Unlocking the Tears of Guthix minigame, giving XP in our lowest skill, depending on how many tears we've collected. And according to this reward screen with the option to increase the XP further with a future update. But for now, we have to deal with a slight problem. The XP is granted to the skill with the least XP. So our current low skill is Hunter, from late 2006. I don't know where exactly I've gotten this farming and construction XP from, maybe a misclick somewhere, but that means we are locked from tiers until Hunter comes out, and then can only do it once for each new skill. Aside from that unexpected change, this quest appears to be completely unchanged throughout the years. That's the entire update history. Only got quest helper and a graphical upgrade. I believe that's the very first quest without any content changes. It played out exactly as I remembered it from old school as well. With that out of the way, let's take a look at the real juice of today's update. No, not the fixed website problems on the 7th of May, but 2 days later, on the 9th, a massive update brought the first bit of real soloable PvM content into the game, introducing a host of new weapons and armors, creating new best in slot setups for each combat style. Of course, I am talking about the Barrows. Technically considered a minigame, we face off against a series of bosses in the swamps of Mauritania, hoping to loot their armor sets and weapons. Before we take them on, however, we need to train a bit. These armors and weapons require level 70 in the respective stats to wield, so might be a good level to aim for. We are a tiny bit off, to say the least. With a total of over 2.5 million combat XP missing, and our target of choice only offering a bit under 100 XP each, well, I think we'll repent from aiding potentially bad guys during the previous quest, thanks to the unlimited aggressiveness. As long as you're wearing a Saradomian or Zamrock item, these 2 weeks of combat training were very relaxed. There were only some breaks to catch some more lobbies. Buying runes for magic, having to craft jewelry to afford these runes in the first place, as well as a dragon halberd to have some sick AoE attack, but most of the time it looks something like this. But then something unexpected happened. I finally completed Moons of Peril in OSRS, been over 200 KC since my last item. And here we go, with final skill, range at 70. Needed the most XP and also a weaker style. Only green D-hide and steel arrows for a huge shortbow as higher tiers were unsustainable. Not a great setup, but that is soon to change. Now let's see what we've got. We need all 3 combat styles to best the Barrows. For melee, some rune plate body and legs, Brahminic helmet, and our new dragon halberd. No gloves or boots, those are mystic, just as the rest of our mage setup. Player did bring melee builds into the game, but they are behind quite the level requirement, so on hold for a while. Lastly, range. Only upgrade from training is our crystal bow from roving owls. Due to the charges, it is very costly for prolonged use, but we'll only need it a bit. Now, getting there is the next issue. My options are quite limited. And looking back a bit at what was done back then, the best way was to run from Guthix using the shortcut unlocked during the Maya Keep questline, which will take us right past some not so friendly guests who will happily eat away our precious lobbies. But there doesn't seem to be a way around that. We'll get back to Guthix by teleporting there, as we are on the ancient spellbook. As for rewards, I'll get to those in a bit. Before finally starting this very first run, I'd like to preface that I am pretty familiar with the drop mechanics on how they were, due to spending quite a few hours here in old school, but I will not look up anything else, aside from drop rates for After Effects for some stats. The associating lore for this encounter can be found in this neat little book, The Legend of the Barrows. I'd recommend the read, but to surmise, there were once 6 mighty brothers fighting against the forces of evil during the God Wars. As they moved deeper and deeper into the enemy lands, they eventually were wounded, and a strange sickness befell them until they perished. In honor of their service, barrows were constructed so that they may rest in peace. But ever since then, at night a strange light emitted from these hills. Well, time to put an end to this. The plan is straightforward. Enter each of the 6 barrows, click on the sarcophagus and kill the brother. First up, Ladok. He'll hit harder the lower HP he gets. His armor set would be nice to have. Thanks to ancient magics and powerful freezes, we can keep him at bay and whittle him down. First one, done. Next, Cardell, the ranger. Just pure damage. His armor set would be very good to have, as green D-hide is quite outdated. The weapon would be nice, but the crystal bow is roughly equal. But he's hiding down in the crypt, so we'll deal with him later. Then right out to Artem, the major. Let's see how well our range equipment fares. His gear is also very high on my want list. Mystics have helped quite a bit, but his tanky mage setup would be a very welcome addition. Quick and easy kill. Onto the remaining melee brothers, and back to mage gear. And kiting, as well as possible at least. Guthix is my only real one set from them, giving attacks a chance to heal. Just have to emulate that with blood spells for now. Would make training melee combats a lot more AFK, but any tank armor would do. And that's half of them. Next Torak and his mighty hammers. Probably the most useless stat effects of them all. A chance to drain run energy. At least that's what it was on release. But really cool looking. Last for the melees is Verak. His effect used to be to hit through prayers, making it viable against some bosses, such as KQ. Since we are completely out of prayer points at this point, it won't make a difference. And down he goes. Now, with 5 brothers defeated upstairs, it's time to head into the crypts below. A set of connected rooms, with randomly accessible doors, and a host of various creatures. We need to find a way to the center, and have to slay a few opponents on the way to increase our loot. Behind each door, the final brother may wait, and to get access to loot we need to solve a quick riddle. Easy enough? Alright, still no Karel, so he'll spawn once we open the chest. I think he can drain my strength, but he'll fall quickly to the mighty dragon halberd. So now, it is finally time for our very first reward chest. Item please. That would have been too lucky, but not too bad. Don't know what these purple totems are for, but we'll sort out time inappropriate loot at the end. To end the run, we just have to find a spot to easily replenish our stats. I thought I was really clever with my Ring of Dueling, taking a teleport to Castle Wars, enter the lobby to get healed to full and refill my prayer. But I mixed it up with Clan Wars, and I don't even know if it is some old school specific mechanic only. So after looking for some alternatives, I just decided to roll without prayer. Hiding and freezes will have to do, and an emergency prayer pot if you get into a dicey situation downstairs. So now it's just rinse and repeat. For my goals, I'd like a full Cardinal, crossbow optional, full Adam, and one of the melee sets, preferably Guthix, but I'm not too picky. Since the chances for a specific item are low, I'll set myself a 250 KC limit for now. If you miss something important, I'll come back here with better stats later. So now, enjoy some Barrows Montage. And don't forget, it's 2005. Alright, let's take a look at what we've gotten. I wanted full mage, range, and at least one from a melee gear. From RM, we've just gotten the upper half within the first 60 kc. I was hopeful for more, but it wasn't meant to be. Karel was a bit kinder, giving all 3 armor pieces, but the wrong weapon. At 129 kc, we've gotten the one-handed crossbow, which was only added in 2012. And for melee, we've got a full set even, Verak, our only usable weapon. Full set in 172 kc. For the others, we've got a couple of off pieces, Guthix only missing the weapon. Hopefully, we can pick that up sometime in the future. That's the full log here. Aside from a one-handed crossbow, we also gotten an amulet of a damned. As it is also not a 2005 item, we will say goodbye. Here, hopefully one of you will appreciate it. Seems like it was picked up. We've also gotten some Triskelion pieces. I've glanced at the wiki page, and it seems a random reward from higher level content. So I presume we'll get plenty more of these pieces until we reach the update from 2013 where they were added. Until then, I'll just keep collecting them. Similar to these Barrow totems that play some role in a future Barrows expansion. I'll just drop all of them once we get to it, in case I do some more Barrows in the meanwhile. For other loot, this is what we ended up with. A healthy chunk of runes and a lot of bolts. If only we had gotten a real crossbow. As for total items, we should have gotten around 17 with average luck. Our 26 are a tiny bit above lucky. As for Barrows changes, well, aside from future additions, removing save spots, graphical rework set effects, updates to the kill counter, yeah, actually there were quite a lot of changes. But overall, it felt relatively similar to my experience in our school, though with less reliance on prayer. I don't know what to make of protection prayers that only block half the damage, but that will probably make a lot of sense the further we progress. And for the total number of deaths? 0. The trick is to simply not eat. Food is a sign of fear, and the enemies know if you're afraid. You just have to have a bit of faith. Subscribe for more advanced PvM tips. And that was about it for today. The next couple of updates should be a breeze, with no roadblock coming up for quite a while. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'm looking forward to seeing you in the next one. Until then, take care and have a wonderful day. Bye!